Welcome to day 150 of the New Way. I'll read Matthew 8:18 through 22. When Jesus saw the crowd around him, he gave orders to cross to the other side of the lake. Then a teacher of the law came to him and said, "Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go." Jesus replied, "Foxes have dens, and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head." Another disciple said to him, "Lord, first let me go and bury my father." But Jesus told him, "Follow me, and let the dead bury their own dead." And I'll read Luke's version in Luke 9:57 through 62. As they were walking along the road, a man said to him, "I will follow you wherever you go." Jesus replied, "Foxes have dens, and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head." He said to another man, "Follow me." But he replied, "Lord, first let me go and bury my father." Jesus said to him, "Let the dead bury their own dead, but you go and proclaim the kingdom of God." Still another said, "I will follow you, Lord, but first let me go back and say goodbye to my family." Jesus replied, "No one who puts a hand to the plow and looks back is fit for service in the kingdom of God." Matthew reports encounters with two men. Luke records encounters with three different men as they are on their journey. All three indicated that they wanted to follow Jesus, but Jesus' response to the first man who wanted to follow him was, "There are no guarantees of safety or security, salary, or vacation benefits. It's not easy to follow me." The second man wants to follow Jesus, but first wants to bury his father. Greek scholars think that what he meant was, "I want to wait until my father dies and I inherit his wealth. Then I'll follow you." So if that translation is correct, the man was saying, "I want to follow you later, but not yet." The third man's decision, only listed in Luke, was to request to say goodbye to his family first. The implication is that all three men turned away and decided not to follow Jesus. Luke sums up these three encounters, but what does it mean? I'll read Luke 9:62. Jesus replied, "No one who puts a hand to the plow and looks back is fit for service in the kingdom of God." Where I grew up in Arkansas, cotton and soybeans were planted in quarter-mile-long rows. My daddy used a tractor with a planter behind it to plant 4 rows at a time. He followed a marker to try to keep his rows as straight as possible. Why? Because you get more crop produced per acre if you maximize the number of rows. If you have crooked rows or unevenly spaced ones, you waste space. Nowadays, they have laser beams to keep the tractors straight. But before my daddy had a tractor, as a boy, he had to plow the rows 1 row at a time with a hand plow. The plow was pulled by a mule. Now, how straight do you think he would plow if he turned around and checked his work every now and then while he was walking forward and plowing? If you look back in the middle, there goes your straight row. It would have a big zigzag in it right where you turned back to look. Checking your rows was something you did when you were finished, not in the middle. You can try this yourself by drawing a straight line down the middle of your paper, but turn and look behind you somewhere and see what your pencil does. So what is Jesus saying? If you choose to follow Jesus, then do it. Get started right now, not later. Nothing should be more important. There are no vacations and no retirement. And don't try to evaluate how you are doing. Just keep following day by day by day. At the end, we'll be able to see how we did. Until then, let's keep our eyes on Jesus and keep plowing. In his service, Dale.